This is the story of Gian Paul Cabrera, a young man from Colombia, full of dreams. He migrated to Mexico with a single purpose: to support his mother, a blind, chronically ill woman, with no pension, no income, and no home of her own. Gian Paul didn't go abroad seeking wealth. He went in search of a dignified opportunity, not for himself, but to become his mother Rosalba's eyes, her strength, her provider. She suffers from diabetic retinopathy, hypertension, and complete visual impairment. And then, everything changed in an instant. Gian Paul was in a serious car accident in Mexico. The diagnosis was devastating: spinal fracture and total loss of mobility. Today, he lives with quadriplegia. He cannot move, feed, or dress himself without assistance. In a desperate attempt to care for him, his family in Colombia made huge sacrifices to raise money and send his parents to Mexico. Rosalba, fully blind, and Jaime, an elderly man recently recovering from prostate cancer, traveled with hope. The hope of relieving the burden faced by Gian Paul's partner, Ana Laura. Ana Laura, a Mexican citizen, has been living with Gian Paul for over a year. She is the mother of 3 children and works outside the home. But her job is now at risk. She has received several warnings for absences and late arrivals because she has no one to help care for her children or for Gian Paul, who needs full-time support. The presence of his parents was meant to be the help they desperately needed, so Ana Laura could keep working and holding the family together. But when they arrived at the airport, Mexican immigration denied them entry. They were detained for over 30 hours, with no communication, no medical consideration, and no regard for the humanitarian nature of their trip. Officials claimed that, since Gian Paul and Ana Laura are not legally married, there was no valid family relationship to justify the letter of invitation, even though they live together and depend on each other completely as a family. During detention, Rosalba was only given sandwiches at irregular hours, incompatible with her diabetic needs. The insulin she brought for 2 months of treatment was exposed to uncontrolled temperatures, likely losing its effectiveness. Since then, her blood sugar levels, measured in milligrams per deciliter, mg by ddl, have remained dangerously high, between 250 and 300. Before the trip, her readings were stable, between 110 and 160. Despite taking her medication, her glucose hasn't stabilized. Her health has been severely compromised as a direct result of what she endured. Meanwhile, Gian Paul suffers from a pressure sore on the back of his thigh, near the gluteal area. The wound has progressed into a severe infection, causing tissue necrosis. Without proper medical attention, and due to his immobility, the wound continues to worsen, literally eating away at his flesh and putting his life in danger. Today, Gian Paul is alone. There is no one to lift him, no one to turn him, no one to clean his wounds. Ana Laura does what she can, caring for her 3 children, her paralyzed partner, and struggling to keep her job, all while watching her family fall apart. This is not a story about laws. It's a story about humanity, about pain, about institutional abandonment. A story of borders that divide, even when there is love, need, and urgency. We ask you to listen to this story, to understand that what happened here did not just cancel a trip. It shattered the health, dignity, and stability of 3 generations. Let's fix what went wrong. Let's restore what was broken. Let's help someone who, like Gian Paul, needs us more than ever. To not be forgotten. Because the love of a family should never be separated by a signature, and human dignity should never depend on paperwork. Please, support Gian Paul. You can donate through his official campaign, https://jochvaki.co/ete/chatsvaki Ayuda a Gian Paul, or contact us directly at the number on screen. Share this video. Help us spread the word. Your support can change everything.